What's up, everyone? It's Wacko. Welcome you to week 1 of NGC. This week we're going against the Prince Aldo, who has a team with Brute Bonnet, Terra Brute Bonnet, which will have to come to this game. So I did have to prep for it, whatever prepping for Terra Brute Bonnet really means, because I honestly I have no idea what to expect from a Terra Brute Bonnet. I mean, it's a good Terra, but like it's like one of those mons where it's like its defenses are mixed. It has a good attack stat. It just has good stats, but like the main thing holding it back is its fucking typing and I guess its speed. But if it was faster, then it'd be kind of broken with like Spore. But yeah, um, yeah. So we got Terra Bonnet, Landers Therian, Aegislash, Slowbro, Mega Halucha, Zeraora, Gardevoir, Nihiligo, Entei, Skunting, and Porygon. I just want to say I was scared of almost every single mon on this team. Um, Landers is obnoxious against my physical attackers. Um, Either it would be like Iron Valiant, Roaring Moon, Ogerpon, and it can just U-turn on like my defensive pivots. That it's faster than including Rotom, Corviknight, Enamorus, Uxie. I guess it's not faster than Uxie, but Uxie doesn't. I don't know. Actually, I don't understand like what Uxie really wants to do like half the time, but I would assume Landorus is more capable of running like speed for Uxie. Also, if I sound different, it's I don't know what's going on, but like last night I just had a cough for like an hour straight, and now I have like weird morning voice, even though it's like 7:30 at night. So for some reason, I sound different. Although the video might not catch up on it because I feel like I always sound the same every time I record videos. I don't really know why. Um Although I think someone said that they thought I sounded tired or like sick the last couple of videos, which is very true because I was very tired. But yeah. Um Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, every mon on his team is fucking scary. Of course, he has to bring Brute Bonnet. I already kind of talked about Brute Bonnet. I figured he'd want to be some Terra that beats Enam because, um, Grass Dark doesn't hit Enam, and I'm pretty sure uh, it gets close combat as coverage for, like, Roaring Moon. What the fuck was I doing? Crip was talking to me. Let me look at Brute Bonnet's move pool, because obviously, I didn't really prep, like, too hard for this mon. Why does it say illegal? Oh, because it's champions. Nat deck. Do you get a poison move? You get Venoshock and Clear Smog. That's all you get. That's kind of crazy. You think this thing would get, like, Poison Jab or Gunk Shot? I think this thing deserves Gunk Shot, to be honest. Um, did you get a Steel move? You don't get any Steel moves. I thought maybe you'd get, like, Iron Head, but no. Maybe like Iron Tail. You have a big tail. I don't know. Okay, so basically this thing gets nothing for Enamorus. That's kind of crazy, actually. I wasn't expecting that. Also, you probably couldn't really see all that, but yeah. Aegislash was really scary. I do have Roaring Moon. I do have Corviknight. But I was very scared of just him spamming Poltergeist or like Swords Dance into Poltergeist. Corviknight can't touch Aegislash. So I was like, maybe I gotta like figure out some way to pivot around Aegislash so I can get him Pyroar. But like its coverage into me, I don't know, like its dual stabs into me were just really scary. Shadow Sneak is also kind of scary. And it just kind of two-hit KOs like my whole team, if not OHKOs my whole team. Slowbro was kind of scary. If he wanted to be like an Iron Defense set, there was not really much I could do about it. So like Iron Defense Body Press, beats Roaring Moon. He can take hits from Pyroar like no problem. Like Slowbro is one of probably the better answers to Pyroar because you can pivot in, you can teleport out, and then bring in some like Scarfer that is faster than it and beats it. Mega Halucha was pretty scary as well. I had to prep for Swords Dance Dual Stab. And mind you, it can't run I guess you can run acrobatics, but you're better off running Brave Bird or Dual Wing Beat. Like Brave Bird Close Combat had zero switch-ins on my team. Um, I guess like the best way to handle it was Ogre Pound Sturdy and hope that I get like an Ivy Cudgel crit through like if he's like bulk up. I think bulk up Halucha probably would have beat my team. Um, Although he kind of struggles to set up though, I will say. He has to find like the opportunity to click a bulk up or a sword stance. I think bulk up might have been better versus me. Basically all he has to do is chip my Corviknight like 5%. If he's SD, close combat just kills me. Close combat kills Rotom Wash, Fizz Def, Max Defense Rotom Wash. I guess the one thing it doesn't kill is Yuxi. But I'll say that I kind of have a hard time slotting Yuxi into this game. Especially if I'm scared of Aegislash. Like, I don't want to give Aegislash just, like, free turns to set up, and then I don't want to, like, U-turn faster than him. Zeraora is pretty scary. Close Combat Plasma Fist hits a lot of things. I think Zeraora is one of the mons I was least scared of, because I have Nidoqueen, and Nidoqueen definitely eats the close combats and the Plasma Fists. It does get knocked off, but I really wasn't like too concerned about like knockoff Zeraora, for example. Gardevoir, I don't think I was like super scared of, but I did figure that like Scarf would be good into me because Scarf beats my faster mons, being Pyro, Roaring Moon, Iron Valiant. Um, Granted though, like there's not a move that beats like all three of them. You have like Aura Sphere for Pyro, which also kind of beats Moon, but at the same time it's non-stab, and Roaring Moon is really specially defensive. And then you have like Moonblast that beats my Val and my Moon, stuff like that. Nihilego is kind of scary. It gets Psyshock for Nidoqueen, despite like Nidoqueen walling Dual Stab like no problem. So I did have to watch out for Psyshock. It gets T-Bolt for Corv. Or like a Meteor Beam into like T-Bolt set could have been scary as well. Entei's pretty scary. Like I had no switch into banded like Sacred Fire, and like the one mon that could switch in on Sacred Fire, being Roaring Moon, like it doesn't want to get burned. Skuntank is kind of always just annoying, you know. So, with that said, what are the 6 mons that I bring? So my first slot is going to be Enamorus Therian. I have to run my Tera every week, so Enam is always going to be my top slot every week because it just has to be there, and I don't want to, truthfully, I don't want to be the one that, like, forgets to bring their Tera Captain, so I believe I will just, every time I start the team builder, I'm just going to slot my Enamorus there, and then if I don't know what to do with Enamorus Therian just yet, I'll probably just end up, like, ignoring it and building around it, and then seeing what I could do with Enam. But I think with Enam, this was kind of an easier week for Enam. Originally, I was going to run Terra Ground with Agility Calm Mind, because it outspeeds everything other than Zeraora, which if I'm Terra Ground, I'm not really scared of Zeraora. And then I have Earth Power and Draining Kiss, which kind of hits it pretty hard, and I can just keep healing up on it. I like Calm Mind into like Slowbro as well, just so I can like set up. If I'm fast on Slowbro, Psychic Noise doesn't really work like super well on me. Like it prevents me from clicking Draining Kiss for a turn, but also if it's slower, like I can kind of easily play around Psychic Noise if I have to, and then I can Draining Kiss as soon as the heal block effect wears off. Um, But I ended up actually going with an Iron Defense Calm mindset with Draining Kiss Earth Power because, um, and I actually ended up going Terra Fairy because I kind of wanted the uh, Terra Fairy boost on Draining Kiss. So basically, I don't think a lot of people know this, but if you run a move that is under 60 base power except for priority moves, so it doesn't work on Bullet Punch, doesn't work on Mach Punch, but if you Terra into that type, and I'm pretty sure it works for like any Pokemon, so like you could do this with Raichu as well, with like Terra Fairy, Draining Kiss. I'm pretty sure it gets Draining Kiss. You can run Terra Fairy Draining Kiss. It automatically bumps the power up to 60 base power, and you can and it gets like the Terra Fairy bonus on top of that. So it's actually like a bit stronger than a normal Terra boost. And it boosts everything except for those priority moves up to 60 base power. So again, another example with Raichu, or even like a Hatterene, doesn't really matter as long as you Terra Electric. You can boost Nuzzle up to 60 base power. So you basically get a 60 base power stab move that is also Terra boosted, unless that Terra boost is like the stab boost. Terra is just a weird mechanic sometimes, but it does make sense. Like talking about it, I think is weird. You get strong nuzzles that always para, which is cool. Like you can be like a mini Raichu Y because Raichu Y can just Zap Cannon and just paralyze everything with Zap Cannon, and it's very fair and balanced. Good job, Game Freak. Um, yeah. So yeah, I wanted a Terra Fairy boost, even though I was a bit scared of like Aegislash and Nihilego going into this. I ran enough speed to where I could outspeed Aegislash, as well as well, I'm not gonna outspeed Nihilego, but if I Calm Mind up, then Nihilego doesn't kill me, and Earth Power will like always kill it. Granted though, I think Terra Ground was probably my better Terra in this game. I just didn't really give a shit. So that's my Enam. My next set is going to be Roaring Moon with Knockoff, Zen Headbutt, U-Turn, Roost with Covert Cloak. So basically, my Roaring Moon was meant to switch in on Entei and Slowbro, so I can't get Scald Burned or Sacred Fire Burned, and it walls both of them. It can eat, well, I mean, Iron Defense Slowbro is still going to be a problem, but I do kind of have a way around Iron Defense Body Press Slowbro in Enam and my second mon that's meant for Slowbro a little bit later on. So I wasn't too scared of it, but I figured it was pretty consistent, and it could pivot around and heal up if it needs to. So it's kind of a weird Roaring Moon set, but I actually felt like it worked for this matchup. Because my win con in this game was going to be Enam or like Pyro regardless, so I didn't need Roaring Moon to be like a sweeper. And I also want to be like more comfortable with using like different Roaring Moon sets because I tend to think of it only as a sweeper when I genuinely think it could be used as like a defensive mon with like pivoting, or like taunt sets are like probably good on it, and it gets a lot of coverage for like random things. Like there's a lot Roaring Moon could do, but I just don't see people like trying it with it. My next one's gonna be Corviknight. So I don't think Aldo noticed, but in our game, but my Corviknight was running no item. Basically my idea was I was just so scared of Aegislash. I was like, if I run no item on Corviknight, he can't run his best move into me, or he can't click his best move into me. And I figured he would be physical despite me having like their Fizz Walls and like Wisp Rotom, because Pyroar can just switch in on like a special set. So with Corviknight I ran no item and also 0 speed, minus speed, so I can underspeed Aegislash and U-turn into Pyroar every time. And then Pyroar gets off a big hit. Granted he does have a Slowbro and a Nihilego, but I figured Pyroar still kind of just breaks through his team like immensely well. And I have Dark Pulse for Slowbro. So I guess I'll talk about my Pyroar. I'm running Flamethrower, Overheat, Dark Pulse, and Scorching Sands. I probably should have ran Fire Blast, because I think Fire Blast into Scorching Sands always kills Nihilego, but that's something I didn't really think about in prep for some reason. I guess I just wanted consistency. And Overheat was like my consistent way to like kill things from full. Like it kills Lando from full. It kills a lot of Brute Bonnet, it kills a lot of Gardevoirs. And like Zeraora if I need to. So that's why I ran Flamethrower over Fire Blast, because I figured I would probably have to switch out my Pyro at some point anyways. So there's that. Oh, the rest of my Corviknight set, I'm just Brave Bird U-turn, Roost Defog. My next one is gonna be Nidoqueen running sub-toxic Earth Power and Ice Beam. I'm like mostly defensive, with like some offensive investment and some speed investment just for the Aegislash. Because I don't eat Poltergeist very well, but the main thing that Nidoqueen does for me is wall Zeraora and Nihilego, which I desperately needed an answer for. So that's like kind of the main reason it came, and then Ice Beam is just good coverage for his dual flying types. In the case he brings Slowbro, Earth Power is like almost a better click than like a coverage move. So I didn't really bother running like Shadow Ball when like Toxic Earth Power kind of do the same thing. My last mon is gonna be Rotom Wash. The main reason I brought Rotom Wash over like Uxie or Ogerpon is because I needed a special attacker into Slowbro in case he was Iron Defense Press. Um, Granted, I feel like I've never been scared of a Slowbro in this way before, but I kind of just wanted to play it safe because I don't know what to expect from these people in NGC. So my Slowbro, or my Rotom Wash is Fizz Def, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Wisp, Pain Split. So getting into the game, we're like very. I went pretty ham into the prep, but I will be going like sorry, I will be going pretty in depth with the prep with this league because I think some of the people in this league they care more about my advice and they'll watch my videos, so I will actually care more to like talk about like why I prepped the way I did. And then I might give suggestions about like what I might do better to prep if I was like the opponent. So I'll probably give Aldo like something in terms of like what I think he could have done better for prep. Um, Granted, I probably won't do that if I end up losing, because if I end up losing, then that means like they did something right with prep, and I don't really have like feedback. So yeah. So anyways, he's gonna end up bringing Brute Bonnet, um, Lando T, Zeraora, Gardevoir, Nihilego, and Skuntank. I was not expecting the Skuntank at all. And to an extent, I think I wasn't really expecting Nihilego to come, but Nihilego is one of those mons where, like, if you don't prep for it, then you will lose to it. Especially because I ran Terra Fairy on my Enam over, like, Terra Ground or Steel. I guess Terra Ground isn't the best because he gets Grass Knot, but I wasn't expecting Grass Knot when my ground type is part poison and my water type is, like, 2 pounds. So, yeah. I'm gonna lead with my Corviknight here, my U-turn bot, because I figured he probably wouldn't lead with Zera. However, I hard switch into Rotom. I'm not really sure why. Probably should have just U-turned, but either way, it doesn't really matter. He's gonna Plasma Fist as I Wisp him, and I am running. I didn't say this in prep, but I'm running Wide Lens on this guy because I didn't want to miss a Hydro Pump and I didn't want to miss a Wisp. So I ran fucking Wide Lens. I didn't give a shit at all. Um, so gonna Pain Split back up. He's gonna Plasma Fist into my Nidoqueen, and I will be able to quick sub with my Nidoqueen. He's gonna Photosynthesis Defense. I'm not really sure why he's like Synergy on this guy. But it's whatever. I'm gonna be able to get off of Toxic, which is nice. The last time I used Nidoqueen, it was in Gen 3, and Toxic wasn't boosted by, or its accuracy wasn't boosted by being a poison type. And I think I missed 2 Toxics in a row. It's like, thank God I played Gen 9, and Gen 9 is just a more consistent and, like, less bullshit meta. I'm gonna go into my U-turn bot because he is booster defense. I figured he's, like, defensive. And I'll be able to just kind of click U-turn on him because I am like 0 speed, so I can click U-turn and then he takes Poison Chip. I can go into my Rotom and just kind of like pivot between these guys. So I'm gonna Mega Evolve my Smelly Cat. Aura Sphere is gonna do a decent chunk. Flamethrower will not knock him out though. So again, yeah, if I was Fire Blast, this would have knocked out Gardevoir, but it's fine. I do see that he's Choice Scarf, and also the sprite disappeared on Pyro. Why did that happen? Oh, because the motherfucker... fucked up all the sprites. I might have to, I might have to, I might have to turn on my extension, because I don't really want to look at the PNG of nothing. I might have to turn on my extension. You know what? Manage my extensions. Tamper Monkey is on. Oh, this is my dashboard. Let me turn this... No, fuck off. Okay. ZA sprites are on. It is enabled. I'll have to reset. Let me see if this works. Okay. It did work. He's facing the wrong way, but, like, it's fine. That's how I'm gonna have to run this. Probably. Okay. Alright, so... Sorry about that, but it was gonna bother me. I'm gonna switch into my Enam here because I know that he's locked in an Aura Sphere, and I kind of just, like, dual resist that. I'm gonna Tera Fairy just to get rid of my flying typing in case he does end up getting up rocks later and shit like that. Earth Power is just enough to not knock out the Skuntank. I want to know what the roll is on this guy because I did not calc that at all. That's crazy that didn't, like, do anything. I'm gonna bring in my Corv. I'm just gonna U-turn into Nidoqueen just to get up my Black Sludge recovery. He's gonna bring in Lando, which is fine, but I have, like, kind of full health Corv for that. And he's gonna switch out as I U-turn. Yeah, see, my nickname is, like, very truthful. It is just a U-turn bot. So he's gonna Facade as I substitute for whatever reason. I don't really know why I played the way I did here, but I kind of just spammed substitute. I thought maybe he'd switch out of Zeraora at some point, but I'm kind of realizing he has no reason to switch out of Zeraora, but I think at this point, like, I did position myself to where I had a sub with Nidoqueen, but at the same time, like, his Brute Bonnet's, like, kind of near full, so I didn't really get anywhere with that, and I'm just gonna bring in my Corv. He's gonna Synthesis. And he's gonna go into Skuntank here, and the 1 HP was really funny because Aftermath activates and he gets off a Rocky Helmet, so I just lost 41% of my health just for clicking U-turn on a Skuntank. So that's very good prep on his behalf, like sacking his Skuntank there. Good brain. A Skuntank is a very underrated mon, I think. I'm gonna bring in my Corv. He's gonna Terra Blast, which does 19%, and he's been doing, like, about 20% with his Terra Blast this whole time. So I decided to just stay in and click Roost here, but he actually gets a roll to kill me there, so that's a little unfortunate for me, but to be honest, at this point, I can just kind of bring in Enam, and he can't really do too much to me. He can't Spore me because I have Overcoat. So I'm just gonna get off an Iron Defense. He's not going to be able to do too much to me, and at this point, he goes into Nihiligo. I'm going to Draining Kiss, which does a good 25%, and I heal back about 25%, so that really shows, like, how stupid Enam can be sometimes. Earth Power is going to be enough to knock him out. He's going to bring in Lando, and EQ will do about 29%. I'm going to Draining Kiss. Brings me back all the way up to full. Again, that's crazy. So what percent was I at? Oops. So he EQs, I go to 38%. I Draining Kiss for 82%, and I heal back, like, over 60%. Wait, was I at 38? Yeah, 38. So I heal back 61% as I do 81, or 82. That's crazy. Draining Kiss Terra is, like, really absurd. I should not have allowed Prep to allow this, but I really wanted to use Enamorus Therian Terra, because, like, when am I ever going to use this thing? Honestly. So that'll be GG's to Aldo. I think he prepped, like, kind of well, at least with the mons that he brought. Of course he has to bring Brute Bonnet. And I wasn't expecting him to Tera Water, but I think it makes sense that he Tera Watered. It's good into ground Enam as well as Mega Pyro, and he didn't bring Slowbro, so I respect the Tera Water. I'm not sure why you're like Fizdef. I guess like Fizdef can beat Moon. And I also don't know. Oh, you did send me the rest of your sets though, actually. Should have looked at that before I recorded. But I think like I I don't know. I do know that he ran 3 choice scarfs. So in my opinion, running like not mono choice scarf, but like 3 choice scarfs is like kind of that's kind of too much. I would not run mono choice scarf. Um on like half of these mons. Like Nihiligo is like a decent scarfer, Gardevoir is like okay, but at the same time, like why Gardevoir scarf when like you have Nihiligo and you could have just had scarf Nihiligos? Like Gardevoir didn't have to come to this game. I probably would have brought Mega Lucha or Aegislash in this slot. The skunk was actually like a solid bring. I'm not gonna say anything about the skunk, but if you wanted to slot something over Skuntank, I probably would have done again like Aegislash or Mega Hawlucha. Or Slowbro, to be honest. I think the Slowbro like matched up pretty well into my team. Either if it was like Calm Mind Bro or if it was like Iron Defense Press. But I think I understand why you brought these both Scarf, but I don't really understand why this was Scarf Lando. Facade it was a great bring on the Zeraora, to be honest. If you're expecting me to click Wisp, Facade was great. And that's how I think other people should prep too. Every time I draft Mega Lopunny, if I don't have like a 4th slot on my Mega Lopunny, I'm usually running Facade for like stray wisps or just like any status, to be honest, because it just kind of works. But that was a good game to Aldo. Enam is hard to prep for, to be honest. I guess if I want to recommend like a way for people to prep around Enam, you know what? I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna let people figure it out. But I think prepping for Enam isn't like too hard. I will say. I mean it might be hard to like slot some stuff for Enam, but it's not as hard as people think it might be. So yeah. I will see you guys next week. We'll be facing RGP, which also has a very scary team. I'm facing like the toughest teams to start this season. He has a Sun team consisting of the Paldean Tauros Blaze, that is Tera. We have Iron Treads, Hatterene, Raging Bolt, Walking Wake, Crobat, Ninetales, Mega Venusaur, Blacephalon, Obstagoon, and Furfuru for some reason. I don't know what the Furfuru's for, but I don't know. I guess it works with like defensive investment. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.